Hello stock traders, I hope all of you had a fantastic trading week. This last week was a back and forth whipsaw, that is for sure. Last week I finished with a 6.17% gain. Actually had a really great week, felt really good about everything. Month to date, I passed into positive. I'm now at a 1.38% gain for the month. Not much of a gain, but with how the market has been and how we've been going through phase 4 of a 5-wave sequence, I feel pretty good about where we're at. Year to date, I am currently up 66.54% gain. And hopefully you made money from the picks that we had last week, not only from the top 7 video, but also from the state of the market address, those different videos that we had throughout the week. Before we get started though, if you could do me a huge favor and please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you haven't done so before, consider subscribing and turning on those bell notifications so you never miss out on one of these videos. And of course, it would mean a lot to me if you were to share this video with your friends. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to review all the different stocks from the last week that I sold. It's so important to track your trades to get a win rate with any sort of strategy. Both of the strategies tracked in this video are from our basic room, and so for only $27 a month, you could be a member and get these picks earlier than everyone else. We also have great rooms in our standard room and premium room, and it's definitely worth checking out. We have a link in the description down below. Okay, so here we go. The very first pick was GOGO, sold for a 9.56% gain. MTDR sold for a 3.36% gain. GPRO sold for a 6.03% gain. BDSI sold for a 6.93% gain. HBI sold for a 1.54% loss. CTVA sold for a 3.82% loss. LTRX sold for a 7.06% gain. QUAD sold today for a 1.48% gain. And KBAL sold for a 0.37% gain that was sold today also. So that is 9 total stock picks. 7 of those were successful for a 77% win rate and an average gain per pick of 3.27%. There are some of these picks that you will not notice, and the reason is because they weren't part of the top 7. I am not able to cover each and every pick that we have in our Discord, and so you will want to be a part of it. Okay, so the second strategy is our phase run-up strategy and our PDUFA strategy. We only had 2 sales from this last week. All right, so the second strategy covered in our basic group is the phase data strategy, the phase run-up, and the PDUFA run-up strategies. We only had 2 sales this week. The first one was MYOV, sold for an 18.07% gain. The second was ANVS, and this was not covered in our top 7, but this was a pick from Wednesday aftermarket. Anyway, sold it for a 92.15% gain, so that was a fantastic pick. So 2 out of 2, 100% win rate with an average gain per pick of 55.11%. That is obviously not typical. Also, the thing you need to keep in mind is that I am not a financial advisor. Of course, you need to do your own due diligence on any stock that you pick, and it's always good to have a strategy behind any position that you take in the stock market. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the state of the stock market, see how things are going, and we are going to spy on our daily chart to see how things are going. Now, so far we have been waiting to go into wave 5, so tracking the Elliott wave on the S&P 500. We have wave 1 here that was bullish, wave 2 bearish, wave 3 which is the longest and bullish, and so far we've been chopping around in wave 4. Now there are a couple things to watch for. One is if it breaks below 399, then this destroys this entire wave theory. So far we are very far away from that, and it looks like we are going to break upwards, but it is very possible that we could break downwards. Now we'll know that we are officially in wave 5 once we get a new high above 422.82. That is a key level, so when we get to that level and pass it, then we know we're in that impulsive wave 5, and wave 5 is typically extremely steep. That is typically when all the retail investors buy in, is in wave 5, which is not the wisest spot to be buying into the market. It's best to be buying in right now is a great time to be adding, as long as you're adding on those support levels and watching your resistance levels very closely on the stocks that you are choosing. The other thing that I'm looking for down here is I'm looking for a positive cross of the MACD down here, and so once the MACD goes positive, then I have a lot more confidence in the market. I'm still not 100% confident in the market, but I am trading actively in this market, so hopefully you are making a lot of money. But let's get to that top 7. We have so many great picks to cover. And so I want to get to all of those. Overall, feeling good about the market, but we shall see what Monday brings us. All right. First up is number 7, ETON Pharmaceuticals, ticker symbol ETON. So last week, this was number 1 on the list. It has slipped all the way to number 7. And the reason is because the PDUFA date is getting very close. Their next PDUFA date is May 27th. So that's something to think about. That is next Thursday. The run up is commencing so far. On Friday, it finished up 1.09%. My average in it is $8.25. So that has been my average the entire time. I am up a whopping 1.10%. So this one really hasn't run yet. I'm really hoping for a big burst on Monday and Tuesday, but we shall see what happens here. Hopefully we can run wild and really get going on excitement of getting close to that date. So far, so good. You know, looking at the chart, we definitely have levels of resistance, and that is a key level, which is 875. And so looking for a breakout of that level. If we do not get it, then I will be looking for an exit point. One thing we do have that's happened really good down here is we've had a positive cross of the MACD. So looking forward to good times next week. Hopefully we can get that last final push towards the PDUFA date and all make lots of money. Number 6 is SCYX, and man, this was a great mover this last week. Went from being negative on my portfolio all the way to positive, and so that's really, really good. So this was on last week's list, but it continues to be a PDUFA run up that I expect to do extremely well. On Friday, it finished up another 4.11%. My average in it is $7.65. Since calling this out, it is up 13.46%. If you added it last week while it was down, you are up probably close to 20% in this. And so this has been a really nice mover. Analysts have an average target price of $27.69. So there is tons of upside here. And they have a 6/1 PDUFA date that is approaching, but this is extremely undervalued still and catching more and more momentum. So this is looking really good. We've had a cross of the MACD down here on the bottom on the daily chart. And looking at resistance levels, it looks like we got kind of rejected here at that $9 level. And that $9 level is an important level. And then beyond that, we're looking at resistance at 10.15 and moving forward. So this should be a great week for SCYX. I expect this to be a great pick. All this next week should do really, really well. Hopefully all of you are making great money with it. All right, number 5, moving right along, is VNRX, and that is ticker symbol VNRX. And on Friday, this finished down 0.57%. My average in it is $3.66, so I'm down a little bit in this since calling it out, down 4.92%. Analysts have an average target price of $8 a share, which is a really, really big move for this stock, but I think that this has a lot of potential. Let me explain why. I think this is actually the next one that could go crazy. 2 directors have been loading shares ahead of a June 10th conference, so that is fast approaching. This could really catch fire, especially if there was good news. This is one stock that could really move forward. Looking at the chart, you can see what a great value it is. We're positive on the MACD, so that is looking good. The RSI is not overheated by any means, and we have a recent high of $6.67, which would be a fantastic move to the upside. Expecting good things, especially as we get close to this June 10th conference with that insider activity. That really gives me confidence that this is one that is going to move, that they have good data to present at that conference. So we shall see how it goes. On to number 4 is Royalty Pharma, ticker symbol RPRX. And on Friday, this finished up 0.25%. My average in it is $44.19. Since calling this out, it is down 7.91% for me. But if you added it the time when I added it to this, you are probably sitting up in it a couple percentage points. So they have a June 8th PDUFA date. So this is another PDUFA run up. Analysts have an average target price of $52.71. So we're looking at close to a 30% upside possibility according to analysts here. So ARC loaded shares on this, and they are way down in it, and they have not been selling. It makes me think that Kathy Wood, knows something here, but anyway, I like it because it has this PDUFA date that's coming up. Critical resistance that we're looking at right now is about $45. But anyway, this is one, it looks like it's curling upwards and starting to gain momentum. We are about to have a MACD golden cross, or really, really close. We have a previous high of 53.23. So there's just a lot of upside here, and so I could see this really moving forward and really doing well, especially getting up to its PDUFA date. As we see rotation out of some of the other other PDUFA stocks that have either had approval or denial. And we see those investors go out of that into this. It's this PDUFA rotation that I like to play. And so watching it for a big move, I will sell it if it ever gets overheated. It is a long way from getting overbought on the RSI. Anyway, I think this one's got a ways to go, but this should be a great pick for all of you out there on YouTube. Okay, now we get to number 3, and I really hope that all of you have loaded up shares on this when I called it out originally. Since last week during one of my State of the Market videos, this thing is really going. This is LifeMD, ticker symbol LFMD, and on Friday it finished up another 4.78%. My average in it is $10.06. Since calling this out, it is up 26.31% and going for more. The CCO and the Chief Business Officer both loaded shares. Well, today we had the CEO buy shares, and so that is 3 different officers now that have gone in on this. Also, an analyst put a new analyst price target on this of $37.50 and pointed out that this is way undervalued and has a 300% upside in their opinion. We can start to see this thing heating up, and it is really going because of all this insider activity. It's getting a little bit more attention. You can see that it's had an ABC correction, and it's formed a terrific value from the $6.16 here bottom. You can look at previous levels of resistance up here right around $21. We have a previous high of $33.02. We have analyst target prices of $37.50. I mean, we're talking a 300% upside. I think in the short term, I don't think this is even going to take very long. This thing keeps going up, and if you've missed out on it so far, there's still so much room to run, in my opinion. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I think that we can easily get up to this previous resistance level right around $21, and I don't know about you, but I'd be really happy with that. Seeing the CEO go in, now we're starting to get pretty serious. 3 different officers, really like to see that. This is some really good insider activity, a fantastic value in a stock I think you can make a lot of money on. Okay, number 2 is ATYR Pharma, ticker symbol LIFE. And so every time I see this and I think of what the ticker symbol is, I think of Dr. Frankenstein saying it's alive. This has really been moving up. On Friday, this was up 2.53%. My average in it's $4.24. Since calling this out on insider activity is up 4.84%. Analysts have an average target price of $16 a share, and there's some huge upside here. So the CEO purchased shares at $4 and a penny. So yes, this is a cheap stock. Some might say this is super risky and a garbage stock, but I would say any stock with multiple officers of insider activity is just a stock that's misunderstood that's about to take off. Director purchased shares at $3.98. We have 2 different officers that have gone in on this, and they have phase 3 results that are due soon on one of the drugs in their pipeline. So all those 3 things kind of combined, I just don't think you can go wrong here at this price level. $4.45. You just really cannot go wrong with this. I think this is really going to move upwards. This should be a great pick for this next week. That's why it's number 2. It's had significant insider activity. It should power it on to new highs. Different levels of resistance that we are looking for. We have 469, that is a level of resistance that it's kind of come up and touched a couple of times. Another big level of resistance that it's been denied from is right at the $6 range. I'd love to see it get there. And going back, you know, we have an $8.33, so this went from $3.48 to $8.33 in just a couple of days. It's starting one of those parabolic moves here, and so hopefully that continues. Should be a great pick for this next week. If you haven't got in on this one yet, I think you can make a lot of money. All right, now for number 1, this is Autolus Therapeutics, ticker symbol AUTL, and on Friday this finished up 5.98%. My average in it is $6.72. Since calling this out, it's up 0.74%. Called this out today. This is a very fresh stock pick from me, so this is one I think it's going to do really well, and this was actually brought to my attention originally before I even started looking into it by one of our Discord members, Mr. Tan Man. Really appreciate that, and I think that this is going to do really great. Let me explain why. Analysts have an average target price of $14.78, so there's a lot of upside according to analysts on this particular stock. The other thing is they have phase 1b2 data due, and they are presenting that on June 11th. I love solid dates to run up to. It's really hard to pick a run-up stock, and you don't know exactly when data is going to be released. So they updated, this is really crazy, on 5/12, and I kind of want to talk about this. This happened on 5/12. Look at this move on 5/12. Look at this daily candle. This is insane. Why did it move like that? They updated some information and dropped a little note saying that their leukemia drug that's up for approval, that they are reporting phase released data on June 11th, they said that they are getting a 100% remission rate on leukemia. 100%? I mean, that's a cure for leukemia. Any stock that has had any kind of movement like this, I think this thing could really run. I don't know if that's true. I don't know what's going to happen, obviously, before that. If this gets up, way up, you know, before the date, I'll probably take my profits because that's a safe way to do it. But it is really, really interesting. And so I think that this has a ton of potential. So this little note right here, 100% remission rate on May 12, 2021. I wish all of you the best on the stock market. It is so tough out there. Please have a strategy behind any stock that you choose, any position you start to take. It is so important that you have a strategy. I have different strategies that I use, and I've taken years to develop those strategies. My insider swing play, my PDUFA run-up play, my golden play, stock split run-up play, my new fundamentals play. I have so many different ones that I can use that are part of my playbook, and I have a specific set of rules of how I'm going to enter that stock and how I'm going to exit that stock. Now, if you are wanting help and you have no idea what I'm talking about, but you want to make money on the stock market, you might just check out that Patreon group. I know I've talked about it before, but it is huge for you to just kind of get a hang of it. You'll see the strategy as you play it out. Those call outs happen all the time. Huge win rates, and done very, very well in the past, and I expect to do well in the future. And we would love to see you there. Anyway, I'm wishing all of you the best on the stock market, and I appreciate all of you who subscribe and are members of our Patreon. Have a great weekend, and Raythoven out.